Welcome to Prediabetes and the Path to Better A1C podcast. I am your host, Jenny Pena. I am a national board certified health and wellness coach, diabetes prevention program, lifestyle coach, founder of GMP Coaching, and creator of the A1C Reset Protocol, which is my signature program, 12 weeks, one on one coaching program designed specifically to help you regain your energy, balance your blood sugar, lower your A1C, and prevent type 2 diabetes. All of that without extreme diets or spending hours at the gym because we can do it in a practical and sustainable way. And today, I am going to approach this podcast slightly different, and I hope you enjoy this because if you have listened to my podcast before, I typically talk about nutrition, habits, blood sugar, diabetes prevention. But today, I have been inspired to talk about all this, but through the soccer field, right? And you know that at the moment that I am recording this, the World Cup is going, people are excited, are watching matches and all of these things. And I wanted to share what I have noticed about soccer and the soccer matches and some things that we could learn from that to apply to our health and wellness journey, and especially about blood sugar. Now, here is a little something that maybe you don't know about me. I didn't grow up loving soccer, right? Like I knew a little bit about soccer, but it was not my sport. I grew up in a Dominican family. And if you know anything about Dominican culture, baseball is the sport. So soccer wasn't really part of my childhood, to be very honest. Now, this has changed. Before it was about the World Cup. And then last year, my son started practicing soccer. And somewhere along the way, I became what I like to call a proud soccer mom. I found myself learning the rules, watching the games, celebrating the goals. And now with the World Cup, I catch myself planning my evenings and checking the matches and seeing which match I'm going to be able to sit down and watch. But as I watch these incredible athletes, I realized something. The lessons that make a successful soccer team are the exact same lessons that may help us improve our health. It may help us improve our blood sugar. It may help us lose weight. And honestly, that's what I love about coaching. You start seeing health lessons everywhere, at least for me. So today, I want to share 5 things soccer has taught me about blood sugar, lowering your A1C levels, and building a healthier life to help you regain your focus and your energy. Lesson 1: championships are built on ordinary moments. Now, this is one that probably will hit home. It hit home for me when I thought about my past and my own health journey. One thing I noticed is that when people watch soccer, we remember the highlight reel, right? Like that short snippet that they show, the bicycle kick, the game winning goal, the dramatic save. We remember those things. Coaches know that championships aren't won in those moments alone. They're won during practice, during conditioning, during all the passes that nobody remembers, right? And when I was diagnosed with prediabetes back in my 20s, I thought I needed one huge solution, one huge moment, one big shift. I thought that there had to be that one perfect diet or one perfect supplement, one perfect workout. And now looking back, that's not what changed my health. What changed my health were hundreds of ordinary decisions. Choosing protein at breakfast, taking a short walk after meals, focusing on sleeping more consistently, learning how stress affected my blood sugar and making a change, Those were the habits that, while they didn't feel exciting, when you put them together, they completely changed the trajectory of my health. That's what made change. And every healthy meal helps reduce large glucose spikes. Every walk helps your muscles use glucose more efficiently. Every night of quality sleep is going to improve your insulin sensitivity. So, your A1C isn't determined by what you do just once, it's determined by what you do consistently over roughly about 3 months. The lab work, that test, is not that snapshot in time. It shows what you did in the past 2, 3 months. That's why having these habits and not focusing on this one grandiose moment or thing, but incorporating improvements and changes across all the different pillars, that is what will tilt the number towards your desired goal. Now, lesson two, every player has a role. One thing my son has taught me is that kids all want to score goals. He feels that if he didn't score a goal, he did not well. And nobody dreams of becoming a defender. But as I have watched more soccer, I've realized that every position matters. Like, without defenders, there is no game, there is no championship. Without midfielders controlling the game, the forwards rarely get opportunities. So I think we do the same thing with health. We want one superstar habit. We want protein to fix everything, or walking, or a GLP-1 medication, or metformin, or strength training. But health isn't built by one superstar, it's built by a team. And each of these different habits that you're incorporating, they have a role. So you have to find ways of managing stress. Sleep has a role. And even with stress, I would say cortisol has a role. Cortisol is not bad. It's what helps you wake up in the morning and tell your body to be alert. It has a role. It's when those roles are placed in a way that they're supposed to fulfill other things and they're not really designed for that. Now, lesson three, good coaches make adjustments early. One of the things I've noticed while watching matches is that the best coaches don't wait until it's too late. They'll change formations, they'll substitute players, they'll adapt to what's happening on the field. And that is exactly why I became so passionate about prediabetes and coaching. Because prediabetes is your opportunity to adjust before type 2 diabetes develops. It's your body saying something isn't working anymore. And that is valuable information. It's not failure, it's feedback. And it's your chance to make all of these necessary changes and regain your energy and your health. Now, listen four, pace yourself. I will share this because a lot of us want everything fast. And your A1C levels did not go up in a sprint. You didn't develop type 2 diabetes in a sprint. You didn't gain all that weight in a sprint, right? And one of the biggest mistakes I see is people treating health like the first 5 minutes of a soccer match. They sprint, they go all in, they cut every carbohydrate, they work out twice a day, they completely change their lives overnight. But again, soccer isn't one in the first 5 minutes, it's one over 90. And health isn't one in 30 days either, it's one over years. That's why I am so passionate about sustainable habits. And this is one of the reasons why I Don't believe in extreme diets because they ask you to sprint. It's a very extreme measure. And most of my clients come back after saying, I tried this, it worked for a month maybe, and then I was not able to continue. And every progress that I had, it just reverted back and even worse. Now, lesson 5, nobody succeeds alone. See, I've been watching my son play, and it has also made me appreciate something else, that every child on the field has somebody that is cheering them on, that the coaches see what sometimes they cannot see, that the teammates, the volunteers, everybody around, they're able to see what are the blind spots, what are some things that they need to work on, but they also infuse a lot of encouragement and feedback. And looking back on my own health journey, I realized I didn't figure everything out by myself either. I had my healthcare provider. I learned from mentors. I learned from coaches. I learned through education. And today I have the privilege of being that support for my clients. And sometimes they don't need another meal plan. They need someone to help them see what they're missing. Meal plans are great. Guides are great. I have free guides. I even have a 3-day summer Kickstarter guide that is a 3-day meal plan with enough protein that are super easy. And I'll put the link if you want to grab it in the show notes. But it is a lot about having somebody looking at you and seeing what may fit your life and what are the strategic changes that you need to make to see the results. Because it is hard to see the entire field when you're the one playing the game. Now, I know that this is slightly different, and it is funny to think that a sport I barely paid attention to before back a few years ago has become something that I genuinely enjoy because of my son. And maybe that's the biggest lesson of all. Sometimes the things we resist become the things that helps us grow. Maybe for you, it's that strength training routine that you've been avoiding. And I can relate to that because strength training is one of the things that I don't enjoy as much, but I know it's important. Maybe it's meal planning. Maybe you feel that it is too much for you to try to plan the entire week and you need to start with 1 or 2 meals. Maybe it's finally getting enough sleep and having to create a boundary or set a different evening routine so that you can incorporate time for sleep. You don't have to love every healthy habit on day one. And that's one thing that I do with my clients. We troubleshoot and we look at ways where you can incorporate the exercise, incorporate the sleep, stress management tools that actually fit your life because we're all different. And just like I personally didn't fall in love with soccer overnight, I kept showing up to my son's practices. I kept learning. I kept trusting the process. I was talking to the coaches. And then one day I just looked back and realized, wow, I know so much about soccer. My son knows so much about soccer. And then I just started seeing all the nuggets that I could grab from it that apply to coaching. So I will challenge you. The next time you're watching a soccer match, don't just watch for the goals. Watch the teamwork, watch the coach, watch the preparation, the communication, the discipline. Those are the same qualities that build better health, improve blood sugar, and lower your A1C. And remember, your health isn't won by one spectacular play. It's built on simple, ordinary decisions at a time. I hope that you enjoy your weekend and that maybe after listening to this, when you see a soccer match, you will start seeing also your health journey, your blood sugar journey slightly different. And remember, I do have a 3-day Kickstarter guide. It is absolutely free. It has 3 days of meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Every day averages about 85 to 90 grams of protein, which is what I recommend most of my clients to at least aim for. And have an amazing rest of your week. I'll see you on the next one.